Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and today is scrap 5. We had to use washi, stamping, make and use a tag, brads, and do a 60/40 background. So I decided to go in and use some of my Flissy Jane tissue paper and white cardstock to make this 60/40 background. I just thought that with these pictures of Marcus on our wedding day, I wanted something kind of neutral, black and white with maybe pops of metallic, but I kind of wanted to keep it really clean. And so I thought a cool way to do the 60/40 would to have some of this Flissy Jane tissue paper kind of covering up the 60% of the layout and have the plain white cardstock on the bottom to form that backdrop. And I think that's really sweet. I love using the Flissy Jane tissue paper this way because it has that really sweet scallop detail on the bottom. So I'm just getting this secure to my 12 by 12 before I continue. This is actually part 2 of Marcus's getting ready photos. The first layout I did of these is a double page for scrap 5 that you will see on the 19th. So a lot of the stuff I'm bringing in on this page are scraps from those that you'll see kind of later on. But really, I just went through my stash. I knew I wanted to pull in some kind of neutral papers to make it more masculine, and I ended up pulling a lot from my Flissy Jane, non-Flissy Jane stash. So things I got from Hobby Lobby that reminded me of Flissy Jane that I could pull in to supplement if I needed to. So that's basically the products I pulled in: wood grains, black and white patterns, heart print patterns. That's kind of what I was working with. So you'll see that more when Stretch the Sketch comes around, but that's kind of where I got the stuff from my stash. And then because I was digging around in my Flissy Jane stash to get these papers, I also decided to try to use some of my leftover Flissy Jane goodies. So you'll see a couple little packs of all the leftovers from past How to Kill a Kit with Styles. I think Harper is the main one I used on this layout, but I used a lot of Mila on the double page that you'll see later. So that's where everything came from. I'm trying to keep an eye on my scrap 5 items. I know I need to make and use a tag, so I really wanted to use this scrap of wood grain as my tag. I thought it was a really nice grounding element, and I loved the kind of texture that was in that print. So I did go ahead and trim that into a tag. And then I get stuck when I'm looking at layering here. Everything's kind of the same size. I have these 4x6 photos and this 4x6 tag, and I try to stagger them and layer them and add a doily, and it all is just not, I need variation in sizes to make it more interesting. So first I decide to use this scrap of this black and white plus sign print to map both of these photos onto, and I'm tearing the bottom just for a little bit of texture and interest. But I'm hoping maybe if I add this one layer to kind of break up these 4x6s from the tag will not run into them. But you'll see once I put the tag back, it still just looks disproportionate, which is a giant tag, so I don't know why it's weirding me out. But I figured I had to make a tag for this challenge. I might as well make a different proportion tag than I'm used to. So I ended up taking my 4x12 scrap of this wood grain and making a super long tag to go in that same area just for some interest, and I end up loving how that turned out. You can see here, it just was not working with that one tag I did make, so I'm using this longer scrap, doing the exact same thing with making this tag, just trimming the corners, doing a hole punch, and gluing a white hole reinforcer on there. And then I'm going to tear the bottom of this tag too when I figure out how long I want it to be. So I have all of these torn edges on the bottom of the page, which I think is really cool. So I think this is fun. When you get the opportunity, I make my own tags a lot. But I feel like when you have a challenge specifically to make your own tag, it's really cool to play with a different proportion. So that's one way I decided to use it. And then for an extra layer, I decided to go in with this rose gold heart paper, which is one of the other papers I used on the companion page. So I like how this is looking here. I think it's super clean. It's still me, but very masculine with the black and white and neutrals. I knew I wanted to use these Mila metallic leather alphas because they're what I used on the companion page. So you can see those to the left there, and I think those look really nice with this heart paper I have used. But I think the layers are really simple, but they look complete as they are. So I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down. And then I really just need to focus on the rest of my recipe. So I still need washi, I still need stamping, and I still need brads. So I'm gonna get my title down. I knew I wanted to title this one Ready because I have a layout of me and the bridal suite getting ready that I have titled Ready. So this is basically him right before he walks down, and then my layout with Ready is right before I walk down. So I thought it was nice that we each had a page titled Ready before we both went down the aisle. So that's kind of where that title came from. And then I went through my brad stash. I have a lot of blue brads. I do not have a lot of other brads. I do have gold, but because I was using this kind of soft rose gold, I didn't want to use the yellow gold. So really the only brads I felt like I could use are these red ones. I love these brads. I think they're so cool. They have this square shape, and Marcus has red in his boutonniere and this kind of dark red tie. So I thought that was my best bet to use some brads, and they've been in my stash for a long time, so I'm really happy I'm getting some of them used up. But I just thought I would make them a cool accent piece by having 5 of them in a row on opposite corners of this kind of mat or layer. So I also did 2 strips of black and white washi in those same areas just to add some layers and some textures. Here's all those little Flissy Jane packets. I thought about maybe using the Jill acetate pieces because they're just, you know, black florals. But it was looking way too busy with all the other black and white patterns, and it was kind of hard to see them even though they were going on different whites. I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. So I decided that I would go with these leftover pieces from, it might be Harper. I can't see. I'm moving too fast. I can't see what collection those are coming from. But I decided to use these kind of leftovers because there's that little red tag and some black and white pieces that I thought could go in really well. So I thought about maybe trying to use this frame, but it looked awkward everywhere I tried to use it. I thought for sure I could use the bird, but I wanted some other things to go with the bird. So it just takes me a minute of playing with all of these goodies. But when I realized I had this black and white kind of plaid printed tag, that would be perfect because then it brings that red into a third area, so it kind of creates a visual triangle with these red elements between the 2 rows of brads and then this little tag, plus it gives the bird somewhere cute to sit. So that's why I decided to do. I'm happy with how all this is placed, so I'm going to go ahead and get the brads poked through. I'm just using my little piercing pad underneath and a ruler, and I am punching my holes at 1 centimeter apart just to make sure that they're lined up and spaced evenly. So it just takes me a minute to get all the brads through. But really after that, I think the last thing is stamping, which I will admit I completely forgot about until the very end of this layout. And then I was like, oh no, I need to do stamping still. So I'll admit it was an afterthought, but I got it on here, so I'm happy. So I think we're just going to get all the brads poked through, and then I'll flip over the page and do the little legs all at once. This washi is kind of old washi, so I do end up having to pull those off and add my glue tape to the back of them because it would not stick to the background, so you will see that in a second too. For the brads on the back, I don't know if I'll probably just back this whole thing in another piece of my 12 by 12 black paper just so the tissue and the brad legs are all kind of secure. But you can always just put strong washi across the back of those brad legs too if you're worried it's gonna like damage the layout behind it. But I just glued both of these things down, and this is where I need to re-stick the washi because it was trying to peel up on me, so I'm just using my double-sided glue tape for that. I'm kind of stuck after this part, and then I think I realize I need to do some stamping. But yeah, I think this is a really cute page. The companion page is very not simple, it's very different for me. I love the companion page, that's a double page, but I was really trying to keep that clean, crisp aesthetic that the companion page had, so it was really hard kind of not to keep adding. So I think I have struck a good balance for the look I was going for. And I don't think I mentioned it, but this one photo that's in front, that's kind of a close-up of Marcus's chest, that one I did decide to pop up on some foam so there would be a little bit of dimension, so I did do that as well. But yeah, this is where I panic, and I'm like, oh no, I have to do stamping still. So since I was using Felicity Jane stuff, I went through all my Felicity Jane stamps, and there's one that says, today I am grateful for, and there's a colon. So I decided I would add that to this tag right next to the ready, and then I would just hand write in you, because I'm grateful for Marcus, and that's what I decided to do. Thank goodness for the stamping platform Ronnie gave me, because I would have been really nervous to stamp on this layout, having it almost completely done without that. So thankfully it's a nice crisp image. I doodled in the word you, and then I thought I was kind of done, and then I realized I need to add twine through my tag, and I had a scrap piece of red and white twine. I think that came in some Happy Mail actually. And I've been saving it for a page that I wanted to pop a red on, so this was perfect. It made it onto a wedding page. And then I just wanted some detail at the bottom of the page. A lot of this embellishment is towards the top, and there's not a whole lot of embellishment as it was, but I wanted something that wasn't going to distract. So I decided just to pull in like 3 lines from my Tim Holtz word stickers, and I haven't used these in a while either, so I'm very happy I got to pull them out again. But I just selected 3 that I felt were on theme and popped them up on some foam too, so they would also have some dimension, and they're going to be staggered up underneath that left-hand photo. So they say, together is the best place to be, a dream is a wish your heart makes, and listen to your heart, it will show you the way, which I all thought were very sweet sentiments. But I think once I get all of these word phrases down, I think we're done. But this was a really fun one. It was a good mix of items for the recipe challenge, and it forced me to pull in a lot of stuff from my stash that I have not used in a really long time. So, I mean, these brads, that twine, the tissue, the, phrase stickers, old Felicity Jane stuff. I'm just very, very happy that I'm kind of having a chance this month to pull in some old goodies that I really loved working with the first time around. So I'm happy I get to revisit some of my fun stuff. But I think I'm almost done. I'm just fighting with this last word sticker. And then here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out everyone else who's playing along with Scrap 5. They'll be linked in the description. If you want to play along with this recipe, tag us on Instagram, #Scrap5. And I will see you in the next process video. Thanks for watching. Bye.